I mentioned that, they are former NXT Tag Team Champions. You guys had very different paths in WWE. I don't know if you could talk a little bit about, I guess I'll start with you, Glenn, here, if you'd like to take this one first. Like, what was your guys' experience like getting onto the WWE main roster? Because, these guys had to take, years before they were on TV, and you guys seemed to jump on TV pretty quickly.
It's funny. It was a different era back then. When we got in there, with the help of Jim Cornette. So it's a totally different era than it was back then. We had territories. They don't have territories. So I mean, different paths, but watching them on TV and everything else, they weren't handled right. We weren't handled right. So yeah, do I still have a chip on my shoulder after all these years? Absolutely. All I know is come the 19th, the awakening. They're going to have a very rude awakening, because I'm tired of this. Headbangers are fun-go-lucky kind of guys. I'm tired of that shit. It's time to get down and kick somebody in the fucking teeth. I'm sick of it. Oh, can I say the word fuck on here?
You can say whatever you like. You're Thrashers.
Okay,
so I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna step on your toes. Your big metal boot covered toes.
So wait, let's back up a second. You said it took them a couple of years to get on WWE TV, and we seemed to get onto the main roster right away. Do you know how much time we spent on the road, living in the car, living in hotels, up and down
hours a night?
I mean, it was like, what, 4 years? I mean, so for to say they sat in NXT for a couple of years, that's their problem. I mean, the shit we did up and down to get to where we had to get, I mean, is probably more valuable than them sitting in NXT for 2 years.
So talk to me a little about what the difference was. You guys were one of the last tag teams to really get to work territories, and come into the company like that before WWE had a system put in place. What was that experience like for you?
I think it was awesome. I mean, look who we got to wrestle against. Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express. We got to wrestle against the Thugs, Tracy Smothers, and the Dirty White Boy. So we wrestled a lot of great tag teams that we looked up to when we were coming up into wrestling. I mean, it was funny when we first started Smoky Mountain. Cornette goes, "Here, watch the tape of the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, and stuff like that. And this is what we're looking for." So we did that, and we came up with tag team stuff and everything else. So, like I said, it's a totally different time from when we broke in to when they broke in. I much rather prefer the way we broke in, because we were able to, wrestle 5-6 nights a week in different areas of the country, and not, Sale, what is it? Sale University or whatever that is. I don't even know where they're.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. Sale away. So yeah, I think it was a lot different. I think it was better for us.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys got together. If I got my numbers right here, in '94, and the Headbangers. No. When? Correct me here. Start me. Where am I wrong here about this?
June of '93 is the day I walked into the Monster Factory.
Okay, so is it the Monster Factory you guys started?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, you guys. So what brought you guys together?
Yes.
Were you always the Headbangers? Was that always the thing that you guys went under when you guys started tagging?
No, when we started tagging, Glenn was wrestling singles for a couple of years on his own. He was wrestling as the Spider. And then when I came on board and we started tagging together, we were the Spiders. And then from there we took off and we went to Memphis for a while. And then finally we went to Smoky Mountain. That's when Cornette said, "Hey, I want to have you guys in, but I hate masks. Because I want you guys to come up with something else." So he's the one who created the idea of the Headbangers. And then over the years, we just evolved it into what it is now.
Okay, cool. And so when did you guys get on WWE's radar then? When was the first time you guys got called to come in and do something for them?
Well, I mean, we were always on, I guess, the radar, because we used to go up and do enhancement work for TV and stuff like that. So when Cornette realized Smoky Mountain was closing down, he got everybody, their foot in the door. That's where Freddie Joe Floyd came from, T.L. Hopper, the Headbangers, and a lot of people came in, and we got hired as part-time. So we were just doing TVs under the part-time contract. And I have to say, we were the only ones to sign full-time contracts out of everybody.
Really? Well, that's pretty cool. And so when you got there, like, you guys have a pretty, I would say, especially for the times, pretty out there gimmick. Like, did Vince get what you guys were doing? Did he understand what the Headbangers were, or no?
I don't know if he fully understood it at first, because at first he tried changing us a couple of times. But you know, it didn't work. None of it worked. It didn't work. I think we got over a lot more than anyone expected, because like Glenn just said, you know, we're the only ones to ever get signed to a full-time deal.
Yeah.
I just don't expected us to take, I don't think anyone expected us to take off like we did, except for maybe Cornette, because the bigger we got, the more they still tried to bury us, the more we were still getting over.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so, like, who were some of the people that you really did feel like you were gelling with at the time? I mean, you guys, like you say, had a very eclectic group of wrestlers you were surrounded with, and you were kind of breaking into the WWE.
I think we, as far as WWF goes, we gelled with everybody. Probably the only tag team we worked at, we really just couldn't get a vibe with was Doug and Phil. Doug and Phil were just difficult because their style was totally different.
Don't forget the Quebecers.
No, we got our, we had some fun matches with them.
So like, what were some of your fondest memories of that run there? What would you guys consider to be your biggest accomplishments, you know, in the WWE?
Really? That question? Winning WrestleMania 13 and winning the tag belts.
Yeah.
I would have to say that the Slammies at WrestleMania 13 was kind of like a highlight for us too, because we made sure that we got on camera as much as we possibly could and made a spectacle of ourselves. I mean, we came in gowns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a great time. I mean, I miss those days of where they did the Slammies and stuff like that and made it like a big deal. It was fun. It was fun for us. It had to be fun for the fans. I mean, we enjoyed it a lot. What a weekend.
Yeah.